So here we are on the start line of this specially made course, the Fifield course. Now we are running this fast, so if you are quite impressed with the speed the cyclist is going, this is at double speed, just because the course doesn't have too many bends to describe, and we just thought you might prefer watching it over 10 minutes rather than 20. As you can see, it's fairly straight here. Now, most of the corners on this course are fairly sweeping, like this one, and you're not going to crash on them. If the race you're in has corner capers, and those are the power-ups that stop you crashing on bends, you can see that one, even at 48, I was nowhere near going into the red on the little dial in the centre bottom of your screen. There is one bend near the end where you do risk crashing. That's 700 metres from the end. So we would say that if your race has corner capers as some of the power-ups, which for a defined amount of seconds will stop you crashing, save it for the last 700 metres. If you're sprinting for the race, you really don't want to crash 700 metres from the end and give it to your competitors. So this course is fairly undulating, and you can see there are a couple of climbs as we go past the pack there. There's, I suppose, one longish slug early on as we go round the top bend. If you look at the top left-hand corner of the screen, you'll see the circuit. The yellow blob is where we are. There is a climb that goes up after that bend. Now, the start is very much downhill, so you'll get a very, very fast downhill. You can see the rider going at least 50 kph at the moment, and that is largely due to downhill. You can see the gradient just to the left of the speedometer there, minus 0.6, not a lot at the moment, but it's a long descent from the start line. So you'll get a lot of speed early on, and then, as I say, there will be a bit of uphill. Undulating course, I would say, so it's not, pan flat or anything like that, but you get that long drag after the turn that we can see coming up on the course in the top left hand corner. We are heading for that bend. Now, that bend looks a lot sharper on the little map there than it really is, so I don't think anybody with crashing will suffer too much on that. At the moment, at the time we're recording this, CADEsport offers the opportunity to have the crashing on corners on or off. If you have it off, you'll go slightly slower around the corners. If you have it on, you can go faster around the corners, but if you go too fast, you will crash. You can see these long straights here. You can see the you can go up to the top left. You can see the trail of riders just behind the rider on screen, which is the yellow blob. We've been on this straight course for a very long time. If you look at the when we go around this bend, we'll go up this hill for a little while. You can see already 0.7, 0.6 on this climb, and we will sort of, as we say, go around the bend. It will flatten out after the bend. This is the climb sort of up to the bend, if you like, and we're on minus 0.5 at the moment, slightly undulating, and we'll go round the bend here. Now, as you can see, this is quite sweeping. 46, still not troubling the red zone on the speedometer, and the gradient's still going up. Now, this is the climb. I'll say flattened out a little bit, but this is now the climb that we're going up. You can see the gradients now, not a lot, 2%, so it's not going to hurt too much. This is the long drag hill that I did mention, and it's to say, it's not. I think it's somewhere where you can punish other riders who perhaps haven't got the hill climbing that you've got in your legs, or equally, if you haven't got hill climbing in your legs, you're going to resent somebody further up powering away. Now, we think this course really is about power, because the bends are not going to, the winner's not going to come from the most skillful at negotiating corners. It's going to come from the most powerful. Now, getting up towards the top of this climb now, it's, as I say, it's flattened out, and again, look at the sweeping bends along this long straight. It looks straight on the map. It does have little curves, but nothing that's going to trigger too much problems. The tighter bends come in the last 3 kilometres, and as I said before, that 700 metre before the end one is the trickiest. So you can see why we sped this up. So if you've only just joined us. This is at double speed as we go down a descent there, and that's just to cut the viewing time short, as there weren't too many intricate features. You see again the bend there, not causing too much problems. You'll notice the riders steering into the shortest way around the bends. You do get an advantage, again using the steering, going over there onto the right. If you turn the steering off, you will lose that ability, but you can gain a little bit of ground just by hitting the inside of each bend, as the rider is demonstrating there. Over halfway, 8.6 kilometres into this 16 kilometre course. As I say, remember it is riding at, or the film is rolling at double speed, so you're seeing this at twice the speed you would expect to see it in real life, just to save you a bit of time and let you get back onto CADEsport and ride it for yourself. If you go onto CADEsport, it's in the map section under West London Fifield, and of course West London putting on races around this course. You may be watching after the races have happened, and of course we do put in power-ups, and some of those power-ups give you extra power, and others, like the corner caper, will stop you crashing on corners, assuming you're using the crashing. Now, we've got 6.4 kilometres to go. As I said, I would save corner capers if they're in your race till the last 3 kilometres, and save one at least for the last 700 metres. There's a nasty little curve 700 metres from the end, and that's not where you want to lose the race. But look at these long straight sections with curving bends. This is going to suit the more powerful speedy riders rather than the skillful ones. Now the series we tend to put on will mix up the races between these so that everybody has a race that will suit them. So if you are one of the more powerful riders, used to just chugging away and not really sort of concentrating too much on VR skills, this is probably the course where you can win. So this is one for the powerful speedy riders. 5 kilometres to go. You see just more and more of these straights with very, very subtle bends, not causing too much problem for the cyclists with steering. So again, it's probably one of those where you might want to put the steering on if you don't usually use it, because it's not going to catch you out too much. As we see, look at this again, sweeping bends, nothing really going to trouble you. So it's going to be about power and speed, and it may well be worth getting on somebody's wheel here. And if you can sit on somebody's wheel and use their draft, look, even that one, just getting closer at 44. Note that one, that was 4.2 kilometres from the end. That I had to slow down at 44 and only just got round that without crashing. So maybe use your corner capers if you've got them. 4.2 kilometres in, with 4.2 kilometres to go, I should say. Sorry, I beg your pardon. 4.2 kilometres left, and remember, definitely save one for 700 kilometres, 7.7 at 700 metres, I should say, left before the end. 700 metres and 4.2 kilometres left to the end. Probably the best two places to use your corner capers, but there are tighter bends, as I said before, in that last 3 kilometres. So it's up to you. Probably best to test the course before you actually take part in a race, and that's why we give you these little previews to show you what it's like. And of course, CADE putting it on there in their map section so that you can actually go and test it for yourself before the race. Give yourself an advantage. Get on there and do it. Again, look at these nice straight sections with only sort of sweeping subtle bends. 2.7 kilometres to go, and nothing too dodgy at the moment, but like I said, it gets a little bit tighter on the corners into this last, as you can see here, that one only did it at 35, but if I'd been much over 40, we'd probably been hitting the red again. So note that one, that was 2.3 kilometres to go. So 4.2, 2.3, definitely 700 metres to go. Corners to watch out for if you're racing it. Look at this one though, sweeping, no problem there. Well under the red zone, and the speedometer in the bottom of the screen there in the centre. Now, slight gradient here, so it's slightly undulating, but there's that long drag earlier on that we discussed. Beyond that, not too much to worry about. 1.6 kilometres to go, and we're heading ever closer to that 700 metre, sorry, I've done it again, 700 metre bend, and that is the one to look out for. We're just coming up to the kilometres to go, so 300 metres and we'll be at the 700 metre bend. So let's see what happens. There's a little bit of a chicane there, and here it is. This is the one that might cause you some difficulty. So I reckon the two to watch out for are the one at 4.2 kilometres to go and 700 metres to go. Both very close for me on 44 kph on the ride. Just coming up, just 400 metres to go now to the finish. As I say, this is running at double speed, so it will end very, very quickly. You can see the finish line barrier coming up. We wish you the most luck if you're taking part in one of our races, but get on there and test it all out on CADEsport before you race. What a great course, eh? One for the power guys, Speedy.